Hey everyone, this is Emily Horn with Texas Right to Life. I am here outside the District Federal Courthouse in Austin, Texas. I am one of the 5 lobbyists that is here on the ground with Texas Right to Life for the Texas legislative session, which happens every 2 years. And we will be here for the next 5 months trying to make sure that we can pass some pro-life laws in Texas and make sure that anti-life laws do not go through this legislative session, and also protect your state budget. But we are here right now after 3 days of sitting in on the federal hearing over the decision by Texas to remove Planned Parenthood from its Medicaid contract. Now you may think, wow, I thought we'd already defunded Planned Parenthood in Texas. Didn't we go through this whole song and dance 5 years ago? And we have kind of some more details on all the different ways that Planned Parenthood has managed to get funding, but the state finally decided, after the undercover videos that were released a year ago depicting Planned Parenthood negotiating, buying and selling baby body parts, that they decided it was time to actually formally remove them from their Medicaid contracts. And we heard testimony in court that Planned Parenthood, through different affiliates, gets several $1 million worth of contracts each year. And Texans should not be forced to subsidize the practice of abortion. Now, there was a lot of discussion in the court over whether or not this was actually going to abortion. And so we actually got to hear for the first time really in court that I've seen some testimony on what those separation agreements look like. And even Judge Sparks, who was really not a friend of ours, kept saying that the separation was thin. He even called it stupid at one point. They share employees, they share facilities, they share really all these different contracts, but they are maintaining that they are separate for the purpose of getting funding on one side that they claim has no affiliation or nothing to do with abortion. Yet we all know that with the separation being that thin, really Texans are being forced to subsidize a morally abhorrent practice. So that's some of the things that they actually had to testify. Planned Parenthood executives had to testify on the record that we had not really had access to all that information before, that was really just enlightening. There were actually quite a few things that Planned Parenthood executives said that were pretty shocking. One of the most memorable quotes that I heard was Dr. Paul Fine, one of the abortion doctors and the director of the medical services at Planned Parenthood, specifically was talking about abortions that he had done. He said he had done thousands in his career. He's actually been on the faculty at Baylor College of Medicine for years and teaches this practice. He said that when he was talking about whether or not procedures are altered for the purpose of obtaining fetal tissue, he said sometimes the mothers will actually request a footprint of their child as a memento for the abortion. He said this is something that actually happens sometimes in the abortion context, and so they actually will try to accommodate that if they can, which I can't really, was just shocked at the moral disconnect there that happens, that there's not an understanding that it is a child, yet they still want a footprint of it as a memento for that procedure. It shows that there is a great amount of turmoil that goes into that decision. And it's not as simple and cut and dry as Planned Parenthood would have you believe. So after 3 days of this testimony, the judge kept alluding to the amount of material that he had to review and how long it might take him. So we actually, at the very end of the hearing, issued a temporary restraining order for the next month, where the Medicaid contract would have ended with Planned Parenthood on Friday, 2 days from now. He's extended that due date for another month, saying that he has to review all this and he hopes to have an opinion out by then. But it just shows that even without time to deliberate, he has still decided to exercise his power to usurp the state and end that contract for another month without exactly knowing what the evidence really says, but having had time to review it. In the meantime, we believe that the state, of course, is justified in this action. We don't, as I said, think that Planned Parenthood should be subsidized by Texans, by their hard-earned dollars, through their tax money, to be forced to subsidize this business that does do abortions. It's the largest abortion provider in America. We also believe, in the course of our vigilance on the state budget, that Texans shouldn't have to provide state funding through all the different programs in our state budget to Planned Parenthood either. So Texas Right to Life also is a watchdog for the state budget, and consistently are uncovering new funding streams in the Texas state budget that are not subject to federal restrictions that Texas is still paying Planned Parenthood through and contracting with them and paying them through many different types of funds. So this is something that we will be looking at and advocating against this session, and trying to make sure that they are shut out of every budget program in the state. And so we need your help on this. We need you to stay engaged. We need you to stay active and pay attention to our action alerts. We'll need your help on this. As we kind of next week, we'll give you some more specifics on that and what that looks like. We will just need to make sure that the Capitol, the Texas Senate, and the Texas House know that we as Texans do not want to subsidize Planned Parenthood, and that goes for Medicaid and for our state budget. So stay tuned. Next week, we'll tell you more about how you can help with that specifically. Thank you.